Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the penultimate, second to last, almost there, update for Silent Hill 3. Now, if you remember last time, Vincent had directed us, well, saying that Douglas had apparently left us a message, but obviously it was Vincent telling us where to go, telling us that we needed to head down to the Lakeside Amusement Park. Apparently that will lead us to the church where Claudia is, and we'll get revenge, we'll get our final dessert, or just desserts, some type of dessert, but as you could tell from the map, well, we have quite a long ways to go down Nathan Avenue. So, how are things? Pretty foggy, I suppose? I can't believe they make you run this entire way to Lakeside Amusement Park.
Oh, hell.
Thankfully, though, they really don't make you run all the way there, because that would involve, well, a lot of boring running, but it would also involve creating a entire new area, and, well, we just can't have that, can we? But this may seem very familiar, especially if you remember all the way back to the intro tutorial area. Yeah, this is, well, Lakeside Amusement Park. As to how or why Heather would know about it in a dream, well, can't really say that's due to maybe Alessa was brought here. I don't really think her mother would have. But let's just say magic. Now, map-wise, the Lakeside Amusement Park is pretty much how we remember it, so we should be dead in about 5 minutes, but, well, it does have a few different enemies. Nothing new, though, just some more closers. But before we continue on, let's actually check and see if there's anything new in the souvenir shop. Oh, there is. Yeah, you do want to make sure and go in here. There's at least one nice item and some beef jerky. The ampule's fairly nice, but otherwise it doesn't really look like there's anything too new in here. Actually, though, I could have swore there were cookies in this corner first time we came, and not rosewater chocolates. Kind of an odd name for a chocolate, named after that horrible park. Wait, what was that? Yeah, as to how you were supposed to divine this out, it's hard to say, but yeah, we now have a roller coaster key. We have the key to the mountain coaster. We also have a save point if you need it. And you do need to make sure and trigger that, because you will need that mountain coaster key to continue on through the level. But it's pretty much for the best that you really don't stay and fight anything. We're still kind of, I want to say, running low on supplies, but we are kind of hurting for healing items right now, so it's kind of best to avoid any damage as much as possible. And well, we remember the last time that we just went running on the track, so let's go ahead and use the key on the nearby control room. I have no earthly idea what this is supposed to be. Maybe it was the guy originally controlling the coaster. But there are a few nice healing items over here in the corner. You want to make sure and look around. Also, it appears that Heather is not a licensed roller coaster engineer, but she does at least notice that there is a power switch. So let's go ahead and see if we can't turn off the power to the roller coaster. That should hopefully make it a little bit safer for us as we venture our way down. I think it should be safe to run. I think that'll be okay. Oh. Never mind. I think walking should be fine. I mean, there's still the massive danger of falling off, and kind of suck to get a game over at this point, wouldn't it?
I hired you to find the girl, and you performed serviceably. What is it now?
You lied to me about Heather, lady. I don't like being used.
Lie? What lie?
That Heather was kidnapped from you.
But it's true. She was originally one of us. That man, Harry Mason, stole her away and kept her hidden from us.
Yeah, but she says she was happy.
She was brainwashed by him, deceived, because her true self had not yet awoken. She carries God within her. But when Alessa, Mother of God, truly awakens,
Yeah? What's gonna happen?
she will usher in the eternal paradise.
What kind of place is that?
A place with no pain, no hunger, no sickness, no old age. There will be no greed or war, and all will live by God's grace alone.
No this, no that, no nothing. A paradise? For castrated sheep, maybe. Sounds pretty boring.
I pity you. You still don't understand. You're going to kill me? Is it really so easy for you?
I've done it before.
Then I truly do pity you.
So somehow we managed to jump away from the mountain coaster, and well, honestly, that entire key just kind of seemed pointless because the coaster's kind of turned itself back on either way. So what the hell was the point? But yeah, it really does seem like there was more to Douglas's backstory than the game kind of led on, and really, outside of one more cinematic, we're not going to get too much more information about the rest of Douglas's life, so you can make up whatever you want to in your mind. At least he had some classy lines like castrated sheep. That's always classy. But we can now start exploring some new areas of the Lakeside Amusement Park, such as Borley's Haunted Mansion. I actually quite like the music in this general area, and, well, Borley's Haunted Mansion is amazing. It's probably the best set piece in the game. And what do you know, we don't even have to wait for the line. I think we're pretty much good to go. Oh, but there is a warning. In case you have a weak heart, or maybe pregnant, or maybe your baby has a weak heart. Please don't enter. This is a truly terrifying place to be.
Welcome to the Borley Haunted Mansion. We're so glad you came. Please come inside and look around. When you feel you're ready, then go through the door.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be quiet for quite a bit of this because it's all amazing.
Help! Help! Do you hear those voices? A family of 4 was sliced into bloody pieces in this room. Ah, the cries of the children. The murderer was caught. Do you know why he said he killed his family? Because I felt I had to! Anyway, I'm lying. It's all just a joke. I wanted to scare you, that's all. The truth is, only one person died. By suicide. That's Danny, a quiet young man, but quite friendly as you can see. He was so eager to meet you. His hometown is New Orleans, but he came here after first losing his way. Oh, maybe you might know. Where is the path to heaven? This mansion is quite old, so please watch your step. Sometimes the floor suddenly gives way, and beneath the floor, there's nothing. I'm so sorry. This place is just falling apart. The mechanism is broken, you see. It wasn't supposed to stop there, I assure you. There's the exit. That was supposed to be the exit, but it seems that no one wants you to leave. Everyone really likes you. They want you to stay with them forever. I have to agree with them. Don't be afraid. Dying is much easier.
So yeah, this red light is instant death. On harder difficulties it goes a lot faster and it's much easier to die. Also, in that previous room with the falling ceiling, that falling ceiling on harder difficulties will also instantly kill you. So I'm glad we got out of that place with our skin still attached. But yeah, Borley's Haunted Mansion is apparently somehow related to another haunted house in England with the same name. Oh, Borley is in its name, I'm not for certain. But yeah, I love how it goes from being overly corny and cheesy with I'm doing the monster mash to actually having real life dead bodies and just all sorts of grisly things going on inside of it. But for those with a keen eye, you may notice that, well, I'm not currently carrying around the katana. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm actually carrying around one of the unlockable weapons. It's known as the beam saber. It has one major awful drawback, and that is whenever you pull it out, there's about a 1 to 2 second animation where you're just left right out in the open. It does quite a bit of damage though, and it has pretty much the exact same attack pattern as the katana. It's just, well, it's not a free ticket to do incredibly stupid crap like this. And finally showing some additional moves, the closer is actually showing itself to be quite dangerous if you give it the chance. Now you can actually power up and cause the beam saber to change color depending on, well, the higher and higher ranks you get after beating the game. Currently, I have it about at 70 to 80% power, mostly because getting it up to 100% power is way more difficult than it should be. But this statement doesn't really make a damn bit of sense. I mean, yeah, I suppose being a column, it does serve some functional purpose. And that sign clearly says rocket swing, but, you know, what's in a name? But after that wonderful showing of how good I am with the beam saber, I think we'll just continue to ignore. That is a creepy cat head. Yeah, we'll just continue to ignore combat for probably the rest of the amusement park. But it appears we've landed or found ourselves in some type of, I guess, I don't want to outdoor theater. I don't want to say amphitheater because, well, that's an entirely different architectural thing. And we find, well, in center stage we have a red shoe. Perhaps we can use the red shoe with the column? No, that doesn't make any sense. No, there is another item you need to make sure and pick up here, which is this chain and a hook. And we actually really didn't need to fight either that double head or closer, because once you get the chain and come back here, they actually just disappear. But what we need to do to solve this rather obtuse puzzle is to first attach the chain to the column in the center of the swing rocket. And Heather informs us we need to do something with the second half of the chain. And what we actually need to do with that is go over to this door I did not look at beforehand. And, well, apparently the door may be rusted shut. Well, either way, we can't open it up with our bare hands. Thankfully, though, we can use our magical powers of science to hopefully yank the door open by attaching the chain between the swing rocket and the door. And since the control booth is open and right here, we're just going to go ahead and turn that on and, well, yank the door open. Not too difficult of a puzzle to solve, but it can be a little hard to figure out.
Douglas,
You're late.
are you hurt?
I can't move my right leg. I think it's broken.
I'll call an ambulance.
What? I don't think one will come. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
You old fool! Getting yourself hurt like that?
Sorry.
Why did you have to do that for me? What'll I do if you die?
What'll we do if this god thing gets born?
Come on. How powerful could a god from a dump like this be? I'm sure it'll be no big deal.
Yeah, but anyway, something's gonna happen.
Who knows? Maybe we'd all be better off if it did.
But if this is how our God of Mercy acts, I don't want to see any more of him. That's a pretty good reason to risk my life, don't you think? Plus, I'm just an old fool, right?
You think you're Superman or something?
You know, I always wanted to be him. Besides,
Yeah.
I want to help you out.
You don't have to feel responsible. I know it's not your fault.
You remind me of my son.
You said nobody was going to cry for you.
Dead people don't cry. Stupid kid got himself shot robbing a bank.
But why?
Maybe because his pop was a penniless good-for-nothing. Who knows? Anyway, now I guess I'll never find out. Sorry. I shouldn't have said you reminded me of a guy like you.
Well, maybe if you had compared me to your daughter. Listen, I'll take care of the rest. You stay here and I'll be back when it's over.
You'll be okay by yourself.
Hey, no problem. Besides, my dad's not around anymore, so only I can do this. What are you doing?
Maybe killing you here is the only way to end this nightmare.
Yeah, you might be right.
So, for some reason, well, Douglas manages to continue to be a badass, while also managing to be injured somehow by Claudia Wolf off camera. You also get a little bit more about his life and, well, the fact that Silent Hill is just a magnet for misery. But hopefully he'll be okay as Heather continues, hopefully, well towards the church and through the rest of the amusement park. So we got two choices here. We got Fortune House and Morchin Travel? What the hell is that? Let's go in the Fortune House first. That'll make somewhat more sense. So we got a couple items to pick up in here, such as, well, this is actually Douglas's investigative journal, so we can learn a little bit of information regarding, well, his investigation for Claudia regarding what she told him was a kidnapped child. But through his investigation, he found that, well, the Silent Hill newspaper seemed to say that Alessa was dead. So he kind of didn't think much of it. He was able to find, though, that there might have been some connection with a girl named Heather. That was now, well, we all know all that. But actually, if you investigate or examine the journal more, you'll find that Heather and James had previously been living in Portland until, well, some religious crazy nut from Silent Hill somehow stalked them, and Harry ended up having to shoot the cultist with a revolver and thus felt the need to run away again. But that's never really, I don't think that's ever brought up in any novels or books or anything like that, so just a bit of flavored text as to well, Douglas's keen ability to find people and screw up their lives. But we did also get a creepy doll head. And with no other place to go, I guess we need to go into the mine? No. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what this is supposed to be representative of. Maybe some Europeans out there might know better than me. But to the left we have a Snow White doll, and over to the right is a doll of Cinderella. Now there is a puzzle connected with this, and it's actually a fairly easy to solve puzzle, but just in case you couldn't figure it out, there are 2 photos on the ground. And you get to play Guess What's Missing from the Picture. Now, you need to pay close attention to what is in the shadows of both pictures, as they will give you vague hints as to what you actually need to do. But if we look at the Cinderella here in the little box next to her feet, we'll see that there is a shoe-shaped indention missing, or a foot-shaped indention. And if you remember that shoe we got, well, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together if you know the fairy tale of Cinderella, since she was missing her glass slipper. Even though, well, we don't actually have a glass slipper, and, well, if you remember the tale of Snow White and the doll head she was missing, no, it's just supposed to be a apple replacement. And even though we don't hear any indication that a door is unlocked, actually, this door here on the far end is actually now open for us to go through. Yeah, I don't find a treasure chest scary at all either. But as we go careening our way through this very dangerous area, we need to make sure and stop off by the ice cream stand because, well, there's actually a rather informative note here from, well, go ahead and ruin it for you as it will tell us at the end, but this is actually written down by Harry Mason. This was actually written by Harry Mason since he ended up actually going through the Lakeside Amusement Park 17 years ago. And this is just basically outlining what he was maybe thinking at the time regarding, well, Cheryl, whatever Dahlia Gillespie was telling him and all that jazz, and his unsurety about what to do. I mean, all that he cared about was Cheryl, and, well, he can't really think about anything else till he got her back. We'll actually be getting some more thoughts from Harry Mason, even though he's dead, as we continue further into the game. Also, there were a few stun gun batteries, and we're actually going to be showing, or I'm going to be showing that item, or that weapon off, in a forthcoming fight. But outside of some, well, rather fleshy, mangled mounds of something hiding in the bushes, there's actually not much else to this area, and, well, the only thing left to do is to check out the Happy Carousel. Or the Unhappy Carousel. Ha ha ha. Yeah, let's just keep moving on. So, welcome to the happiest carousel ever. Now I don't want to call this a puzzle. We are given a little riddle here that basically says whenever the carousel turns completely around 4 times, I don't know. Basically, all we have to do is smack these poor horses. A good 2 or 3 whacks with the katana will actually cause them to stop moving, and that's when you know for certain that you can move on to the next one. And you do want to hurry because, well, if this carousel turns around too many times, you'll instantly die. So nice little instant death trap, especially if you wait too long to read that note, try to figure out what the hell it means. Looks like we are now down to 3. I know you're all just loving this song. It's gonna get stuck in your head. And the final one. And there we go, we should be completely safe now. Well, relatively safe, I should say. And say hello to the next boss. This is the Memory of Alessa, is what it's called. Yeah, the Memory of Alessa is actually the, cooped up and rather crazed memories of whatever is left of Alessa. And as you can tell, she looks pretty much like Heather, and actually comes equipped with, Heather's starting weapon, the defensive knife. It's still as shitty as ever, so I figured I might as well give her a fighting chance and show off the stun gun in all of its majesty. And if you haven't figured out how to block by this particular point in the game, this fight will be really painful because, well, Memory of Alessa actually knows how to block as well as you do. And even with the knife, she got in quite a few good hits, so yeah, let's go ahead and change to an even better weapon. Because even though she has faded away, Memory of Alessa actually has multiple stages. Stage 2, she is now equipped with a handgun. Her handgun, though, does a lot more damage than yours. So, if at all possible, either try to stay in melee range as she'll try to pistol whip you, or stay behind cover of these carousel horses. And I can only assume there has to be someone out there that's just totally amazing and awesome with them all. I am not one of those people. Yeah, and also just in the case of the memory, well, she's just a lot faster, so pretty much everybody will probably recommend that you just stick to the katana for this fight, as, well, it does a pretty good job of stunning the memory of Alessa, and does a reasonably good amount of damage. And it is now on to Stage 3. What does Stage 3 have for us? Well, oh, I think I saw her. Where are you? Cheeky bitch. Oh, there you are. Yeah, Stage 3 has the pipe. Possibly the second best weapon in the game. She actually wields it fairly well. Thankfully, if, well, you can get her stuck into a pattern, she can actually be pretty easy to take down. Alright, time for the fourth and final stage. What do you think she has for us? You think the mall? You think she has a stun gun too? No, she has a submachine gun. Yeah. Really, you do not want to be shot by the submachine gun. It will probably take out about 3/4 of your health, and it's just murder. So just keep her in melee range, keep blocking as best you can, and hope that you have enough healing items to get through this fight, because this fight is very, very long and very annoying. I do like the Otherworld Carousel though, and I also like the fact that if you have a chance to look in the background, you'll see that the carousel is actually heading downwards into some... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that is not good. Yeah, it seems to be heading downwards into some horrible abyss. There we go. The memory is, well, the memory is now dead. And it was nice enough to leave behind its own feelings and thoughts. Apparently, Alessa was not very happy with the idea of giving birth to a demon. And especially if you happen to be familiar with Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill Origins, they really hit home the idea that Alessa was just a poor girl that was tormented and punished by pretty much everyone around her. And Heather, well, she completely understands because, well, even though she is barely remembering, she does understand because she is Alessa. But there are some key differences between Alessa and Heather, and, well, that's what makes them two different people. But with that, the carousel has stopped, and we now find ourselves in a very squishy place, but not actually sure where we are right now. I suppose, though, that finding out where we are is going to have to wait till next time as we head to wherever we're heading in the final update for Silent Hill 3.